On Easter Sunday, a lawsuit was filed in state court in Nevada against Hall of Fame tight end Shannon Sharpe because he has become such a massive media star, especially in the past few years. The lawsuit is going to attract.
Gil, I mean, I remember walking out and CJ, the producer of the show, he's like, Shannon, this is going to blow up the internet.
Let's dive headfirst into this whirlwind of controversy swirling around Shannon Sharpe, a man whose reputation is unraveling in a cascade of accusations, unsettling admissions, and a public backlash that seems to grow louder by the day. This isn't just a scandal. It's a collision of egos, power plays, and deeply uncomfortable truths that no one seems ready to face. Buckle in, because we're about to break this down piece by piece, and it's uglier than anyone could have imagined.
But it just took off.
Yeah.
And everybody was just shaking their head. I was like, what? They're like, Shannon, this is gonna go crazy.
Yeah.
It all started with a question nobody ever thought they'd be asking. Why would a man like Shannon Sharpe, with everything to lose, walk straight into a scandal so perfectly designed to destroy him? The Hall of Fame athlete turned media powerhouse is now facing a lawsuit so explosive it's left his fans, his colleagues, and even his critics reeling. The lawsuit, filed by a woman known only as Jane Doe, accuses Sharpe of behavior so shocking it's hard to believe we're talking about the same man who became a household name for his charisma and sharp analysis on television. But the allegations aren't just shocking, they're specific, detailed, and damning.
It's a claim against someone alleging that some rights were violated, and in most cases what's sought is compensation in the form of damages to make up for whatever it is the person did. And there are all sorts of civil lawsuits, car accidents, defamation. We hear about that a lot because people get sued about things that are said about them in media.
Jane Doe's claims paint a picture of a man who allegedly wielded his power and influence like a weapon, manipulating her into what started as a consensual relationship but quickly spiraled into something far darker. According to the lawsuit, their relationship began in 2023 when she was just 19 years old, an age gap that's eyebrow-raising in itself. But it's not the age difference that's got people talking. It's the bizarre and deeply troubling dynamic that allegedly unfolded between them. Doe claims that Sharpe's behavior became increasingly coercive, controlling, and at times terrifying. And if that weren't enough, the details she's shared include threats, bizarre forms of domination, and even allegations of him secretly recording their most private moments. These are not just accusations, they're grenades, designed to blow up everything Sharpe has built over the past 2 decades.
And that the was about handcuffs, choking, putting on dog collars. Do you get those at Petco?
And then there's the matter of the so-called race play. Let's not sugarcoat it. This revelation has left even Sharpe's most loyal supporters questioning everything they thought they knew about him. In an apparent attempt to defend himself, Sharpe released a series of text messages between him and Jane Doe. The texts were meant to prove that their relationship was consensual. But what they actually did was open an entirely new can of worms. In these messages, the pair allegedly engaged in conversations that were so racially charged, so deeply uncomfortable, that they've become the primary focus of the public's outrage. Here's the kicker. It wasn't just Jane Doe initiating these discussions. Sharpe himself allegedly leaned into the dynamic, allowing it to fester and even thrive.
Like the Deshaun Watson cases where there were 20 plus plaintiffs and they weren't really sure who the people were who were making the claims. In this case, Shannon Sharpe knows exactly who it is because there had been, and it's clear from the statement issued by his lawyer, Lanny Davis, there had been some pre-litigation efforts to try to resolve this.
The backlash has been swift and brutal. Fans who once admired Sharpe for his candor and authenticity are now openly questioning his judgment. Social media has turned into a courtroom of public opinion, with hashtags calling for accountability trending on a near daily basis. People aren't just angry, they're disgusted. And it's not just because of what he allegedly did, it's because of how he's handling it. Sharpe's decision to release those texts thinking they would clear his name has only fueled the fire. Instead of painting him as a victim of a so-called shakedown, as he claims, they've made him look complicit in something far more disturbing. People are asking, what kind of person engages in this kind of dynamic in the first place? And why would he think the public would be okay with it?
Alrighty, y'all. So the Shannon Sharpe ESPN
does he still keep his job conversation is beginning to, I was gonna say beginning to happen, but it's been happening, but I think now it's beginning to get louder because of different things that Attorney Busby has released, including the audios. So right now the conversation is, why is Shannon Sharpe still able to be?
But the controversy doesn't stop there. Enter Tony Busby, a high-profile attorney known for taking on some of the biggest names in the entertainment industry. Busby isn't just any lawyer. He's a man with a reputation for playing hardball, and he's already made headlines for going after figures like Jay-Z and Sean Diddy Combs. Now, he's set his sights on Shannon Sharpe. Busby's involvement has only added fuel to the conspiracy theories swirling around this case. Some are speculating that this lawsuit isn't just about justice for Jane Doe. It's about sending a message to high-profile Black men in the entertainment industry. Fall in line, or we'll take you down.
That's how we found out about the lawsuit against Shannon Sharpe. Now, this one has some very strong allegations: sexual assault, sexual battery, assault and battery, intentional infliction of emotional distress. The sexual components obviously give it greater gravity than a car accident or any case based on some sort of negligent slip and fall, something like that, where someone was just being careless.
Sharpe, for his part, is not taking these allegations lying down. In a video posted to social media, he addressed the lawsuit head-on, calling it a shakedown orchestrated by Busby to exploit his fame and fortune. He didn't stop there. He accused Busby of having a pattern of targeting Black men in positions of power, bringing up previous cases that fell apart under scrutiny. But here's the problem. Sharpe's words don't match his actions. While he's publicly decrying the lawsuit as baseless, it's been revealed that he offered Jane Doe a staggering amount of money to make it all go away. This revelation has only added to the public skepticism. If he's so innocent, why try to settle?
His attorney offered that up publicly.
To me, her turning it down shows that it's not a money grab.
No, it shows that it's a bigger shakedown.
And then there's Katt Williams. The comedian, known for his razor-sharp wit and unfiltered opinions, has found himself at the center of this storm. Not for what he's done, but for what he said. Months before this lawsuit came to light, Williams appeared on Sharpe's podcast Club Shay and issued a chilling warning. He told Sharpe in no uncertain terms that his lifestyle was a ticking time bomb. Williams, who has made a career out of exposing the dark underbelly of Hollywood, warned Sharpe to clean up his act, to watch who he surrounded himself with, and to exercise some self-control. At the time, Sharpe laughed it off, dismissing Williams' words as little more than a comedic bit. But now, those warnings are being seen in a whole new light. People are calling Williams prophetic, saying he saw the writing on the wall long before anyone else did.
For everything I'm telling you, that's why I can say them so freely.
Kid, I need another one. You here, get your number.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Come on.
The irony is almost too much to bear. Sharpe, a man who built his career on his ability to critique and analyze, now finds himself on the receiving end of the same scrutiny he once dished out. And the more he talks, the worse it gets. His attempts to control the narrative are backfiring spectacularly, with every new revelation painting him in an even worse light. The text, the settlement offer, the public statements, they all point to a man who is either deeply misunderstood or deeply in denial about the gravity of the situation. But perhaps the most unsettling part of all this is the question no one seems to be asking: who benefits from Shannon Sharpe's downfall? Is this truly about justice for Jane Doe, or is there a larger game at play? The involvement of figures like Tony Busby and the timing of this lawsuit, just as Sharpe was reportedly on the verge of signing a massive media deal, have raised more than a few eyebrows. And then there's the fact that Sharpe has recently given a platform to voices like Katt Williams, who aren't exactly beloved by Hollywood's elite. Is it possible that this lawsuit is about more than just one man's alleged misconduct? Could it be a warning to others who dare to challenge the status quo?
So are now beginning to bring up past things that have happened with Shannon Sharpe, including a temporary restraining order that was filed against him back in 2010 from a woman that he was dealing with at the time, who accused him of sexual assault. He said in different things. Now, this was dropped. It was dismissed, that restraining.
As the accusations continue to pile up, the public is left to wonder: what's real, what's exaggerated, and what's being left unsaid? One thing is clear: this story is far from over. And if the first chapter is any indication, the twists and turns yet to come will make what we've seen so far look like the calm before the storm. And yet, as the walls close in around Shannon Sharpe, the story refuses to settle. The deeper you dig, the more tangled it becomes, as if every thread pulled only unravels 1,000 more. This isn't just a scandal. It's starting to feel like an implosion, one that reveals not only the flaws of a man, but the machinery of an entire system. Because while Shannon's name is the one in the headlines, the whispers behind closed doors suggest something far bigger than one man's downfall. Something coordinated, something calculated.
They want everything to happen immediately.
Absolutely.
Like, it's
Insta,
only
that-
Thursday.
it's instant. They want everything to instantly happen. It doesn't work like that.
The righteous people on Reddit, baby, they are dissecting and divulging right now.
Let's talk about timing. It's impossible to ignore how perfectly this lawsuit landed, like a sniper's bullet fired at the exact moment it would do maximum damage. Just as Sharpe was reportedly finalizing a monstrous media deal, one that would have cemented his position as one of the most powerful voices in sports commentary, this bombshell drops? Coincidence? Maybe. But in an industry where power is currency and silence is often the price of success, it's hard not to wonder who benefits from Shannon Sharpe being dragged through the mud, and more importantly, why now? For months, there had been rumors swirling that Sharpe's rising influence was making certain people uncomfortable. His decision to platform voices like Katt Williams, a man who has openly criticized the entertainment industry's darkest secrets, was seen by some as a bold move, by others as a reckless provocation. Williams, after all, is no stranger to controversy himself. He is a man who has made enemies in high places simply by refusing to play the game. And by giving him a microphone, Shar wasn't just taking a risk, he was drawing a line in the sand. And now, it seems, someone has decided to erase that line.
But a lot of the stuff he was saying, because I don't live in that world, people think because, oh, Shannon, you live in Hollywood, you must have heard, you must have been, no, bro.
But let's not get ahead of ourselves. The public fallout from Sharpe's alleged behavior has been nothing short of catastrophic. Fans who once adored him are now dissecting every word, every action, every decision he's ever made, looking for cracks in the facade, and boy, have they found them. Old incidents, long buried and forgotten, are now being dredged up like skeletons from a shallow grave. Remember the workplace allegations from his time at Fox, the ones that were quietly settled with a payout and a non-disclosure agreement? They're back, and they're not just resurfacing. They're being reframed, reinterpreted, and weaponized in the court of public opinion. What was once dismissed as a misunderstanding is now being painted as part of a larger pattern, a trail of breadcrumbs leading straight to the man himself. And then there's the audio. Oh, the audio. If you thought the text messages were bad, the leaked recordings are something else entirely. Grainy, edited, and utterly incriminating, they've been making the rounds like wildfire, feeding the narrative that Shannon Sharpe isn't just flawed, he's dangerous. His legal team has been quick to dismiss the clips as doctored, taken out of context, or outright fabrications. But the damage is done. Once those words are out there, you can't take them back. The public doesn't care about nuance or context. They care about what they hear. And what they are hearing is damning.
Shannon Sharpe says he's temporarily stepping away from ESPN in the wake of a $50 million lawsuit accusing him of rape. A woman filed suit against Sharpe on Sunday, accusing him of raping her twice.
But here's where it gets even murkier. The woman at the center of this lawsuit, Jane Doe, isn't just any accuser. She's got her own following, her own platform, and a lawyer who knows exactly how to play the media game. Tony Buzbee isn't just building a case. He's building a narrative, one designed to make Sharpe look as guilty as possible before he ever steps foot in a courtroom. And it's working. Every day, there's a new headline, a new revelation, a new twist in the tale. It's like watching a slow-motion train wreck and no one can look away. But what about the other players in this drama? Because make no mistake, this isn't just about Shannon Sharpe and Jane Doe. This is about an industry that thrives on control, manipulation, and the strategic destruction of those who step out of line. The whispers about Sharpe's personal life, his alleged indiscretions, and his supposed lack of discipline didn't start with this lawsuit. They've been bubbling under the surface for years, waiting for the right moment to explode. And now, with everything out in the open, it's hard not to see the fingerprints of those who stand to gain from his fall.
Clause, I'm taking him at his word because I wouldn't know that. Nobody has ever heard that before. I'm thinking that's truth because he's on the...
Take Katt Williams, for example. His role in this saga is as fascinating as it is frustrating. On the one hand, he's the voice of reason, the man who tried to warn Sharpe about the dangers of living recklessly in an industry that eats its own. On the other hand, he's a wild card, a man who thrives on chaos and controversy, and who might just be enjoying the spectacle a little too much. His cryptic comments about holding back knockout blows during his now infamous interview with Sharpe have only added to the intrigue. What does he know? And more importantly, what isn't he saying? Katt Williams is no stranger to controversy, but his role in this saga feels different. Calculated, almost surgical. It's as if he's been waiting for the right moment to remind the world of his unique position as both insider and outsider in the entertainment industry. Williams has long painted himself as the truth teller, a man who doesn't just see the game but understands its inner workings better than most. His comments during the Club Shay interview weren't just off-the-cuff remarks. They were laced with a kind of knowing that only comes from years of navigating Hollywood's murky waters. And let's not forget, this is a man who has repeatedly claimed to have receipts on some of the industry's biggest players. The question isn't just whether he knows more about Shannon Sharpe's downfall, it's whether he's planning to use that knowledge as leverage.
We're in an interesting game.
We are.
Hey, 58 million views though.
Oh yeah. Almost 58 million views.
Yeah.
What's fascinating is how Katt Williams has managed to stay just far enough removed from the direct line of fire. While Sharpe's life is being dissected with surgical precision, Williams is quietly fanning the flames, dropping cryptic teasers about the haymakers he held back, and hinting at a treasure trove of untold truths that could reshape public perception of not just Sharpe, but Hollywood as a whole. His history of openly calling out figures like Steve Harvey and Kevin Hart adds another layer of complexity. Williams has made it clear he's not afraid to name names, and his willingness to do so has turned him into both a hero and a target. The real question is, how far is he willing to go? Because if there's one thing he's hinted at repeatedly, it's that he's still holding cards he hasn't played yet. But there's also an undeniable theatricality to Williams' approach. He's not just speaking up, he's performing, crafting a narrative that places him as the central figure in a battle between authenticity and corruption. And the public is eating it up. Every time Williams drops a new hint or cryptic comment, it's like throwing gasoline on a fire. Fans aren't just watching, they're actively speculating, dissecting his every word, and building theories about what he might reveal next. It's a masterclass in controlling the narrative, and it's left people wondering whether Williams is simply a truth teller or a man with his own agenda. Regardless, one thing is clear. In a world where silence often equals survival, Katt Williams is making a lot of noise, and he's doing it on his own terms. And then there's the broader context. In recent years, we've seen a disturbing pattern of high-profile figures being taken down in highly publicized scandals, often at the peak of their careers. Some deserved it, others didn't. But the timing, the precision, the sheer ruthlessness of these takedowns, it's hard not to see a pattern. Is Shannon Sharpe just the latest target in a long line of public figures who flew too close to the sun? Or is there something more personal, more vindictive at play?
10 million in a day. And counting, still going up.
10 million.
What's clear is that this story is far from over. The lawsuit is just the beginning. There are more accusations, more leaks, more revelations waiting in the wings. And as the public continues to dissect every detail, the question remains, who will come out on top? Will Sharpe manage to salvage his career, his reputation, and his legacy? Or will he become another cautionary tale, a warning to those who dare to challenge the status quo? But here's the thing about scandals like this. They have a way of spiraling out of control. What started as a single lawsuit has now become a full-blown media circus, and the longer it goes on, the harder it will be for Sharpe to claw his way back. The court of public opinion is unforgiving, and right now the verdict isn't looking good. But as more pieces of the puzzle come to light, one thing is certain: this story is only going to get messier. But what do you think? Is Shannon Sharpe the victim of a carefully orchestrated takedown, or is he simply reaping the consequences of his own actions? And what about the industry itself? How much of this is about control, power, and silencing those who step out of line? Let us know your thoughts down below, and trust us, you'll want to stick around for the next chapter of this saga. Because if you thought this was wild, just wait. It's only getting started.